Hi everybody, welcome to Live Blogger. In this tutorial series, we are building this drawing app using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. In the previous video, we have completed writing the HTML of our website and this is how it looks. Now in this video, we will start writing the CSS and we'll start making it look like this. So let's get started. Right, here's my source code and here we have already linked our style.css file. So let's go to the CSS file and let's start by adding some styles to everything. So let's tap asterisk to select every element and let's tap box sizing border box so that we have the correct height and width for all the elements. And let's also target the body and let's add the font family. So we're going to use a font called Poppins. So let's go ahead and get the link of Poppins font. Alright, so here I'm in fonts.google.com and let's search for Poppins and let's click on get font and let's go ahead and click on get embed code and here let's go to import and let's copy this code from here. If you go to our website, we can see that we have this bold version and this regular version. So let's select just two of these styles. I'll just click on change styles and let's select regular 400 and semi-bold 600. Let's also select one more, which is bold 700. And let's copy this line of code from here and let's paste it in our CSS. Right now, let's go ahead and add the font family over here. So let's tap font family and let's set it to Poppins and sans serif. Now let's set the display to flex direction to column and align items to the center. And let's also set the height. So let's tap minimum height and let's set it to 100 viewport height. So this is how it looks. Let's also remove the default margin. Let's set it to 0 and let's add a padding of 20 pixels. Let's add a background color and for the background color we will create a variable. So here let's type root and here we'll add the variables. So let's create a variable called bg color and we're going to create two different versions of this for the light and the dark modes. So let's tap bg color light. Let's set it to f4, f7, f8 and let's add a comment. Let's tap dark mode and here let's tap bg color dark and for this one let's add 1e2127 and let's create universal variable. So this is what we're going to use in our actual CSS. So here let's go ahead and type bg color and we're going to type var bg color and here we will use the light variable. And for the dark mode we will have a class called dark mode added to the body. So let's type body.dark mode and here we will type bg color and let's set it to var bg color dark. So when we have the dark mode, then the dark color will be added to our CSS. So let's go ahead and let's type var bg color. And now if you go back here, we can see this is our background color. But if you go ahead and in our body, if you add a class called dark mode, and now if you go back, we can see that we have this dark color. So this is how this light theme and dark theme works. The next thing we will do is add the text color. So let's tap color and let's create a variable called text color. So let's go ahead and type text color light and let's set the value to 2c3e50 and for the dark mode let's type text color dark and let's type d1 d5 db and here for the universal variables let's type text color. Let's type var text color light and for the dark mode let's type text color. Let's set it to var text color dark and when we change the colors we need to change the colors smoothly. So let's add a transition and let's type background color and let's set the speed to a variable. So I'll just type transition speed and let's also add it to the color. So let's type var transition speed. So let's create this transition speed variable. So here in the universal variables, let's type transition speed. Let's set it to 0.3 seconds. Or now if you go back, this is how it looks. Let's go ahead and start with the top bar. So let's tap top bar. So if you go back to our HTML, here we can see that we have this division with the class of top bar, and in that we have this heading and this toolbar. So the first thing we will do is we will type display of flex so that the items are one next to the other. Let's type align items to the center, and let's add a gap of 40 pixels. And this is how it looks. Now let's style the H1. So let's tap H1, and let's set the font weight to 600. Let's set the margin top to 0, and let's add a margin bottom of 20 pixels. And this is how it looks. Right now let's style this toolbar. So let's go ahead and let's reference it. Here we can see we have this division with the class of toolbar. Let's tap toolbar, and let's also add a comment. I'll just tap toolbar. So here let's go ahead and set the display to flex so that the items are one next to the other. And here let's add a gap of 15 pixels, and let's type justify content center, and also align items to the center so that they are centered vertically and horizontally. Let's go ahead and set the padding to 0, and let's go ahead and add a margin bottom, and let's set it to 20 pixels. Now let's style this division with the class of tool group. So in that we have the first one, which is for the color and the brush size, and the second one for these 3 buttons over here. So let's go ahead and style the tool group. I'll just type tool group. Let's set the display to flex, align items to the center, gap of 15 pixels. Let's set the background color, and for this we will use a variable. Let's create a variable called surface color, and let's add a padding of 10 pixels and 20 pixels. Let's set the border radius to 16 pixels, and let's set the box shadow to a variable. Let's call it shadow, and let's set the border to 1 pixel, solid, and for the color let's tap border color. So this is also a variable that we're going to create. And let's add a transition of background color. Let's type var transition speed for the speed, and let's tap border color, and we will add transition speed. So let's create these 3 variables: surface color, shadow, and border color. So here in the root, let's go ahead and first of all let's add a comment over here, light mode, and here let's type surface color light, and let's set the hex code to FFF, and then we have shadow. So let's create the variable for shadow. Let's type shadow, and let's set the value to 0, 4 pixels, 15 pixels, RGBA 0, 0, 0, and 0.08, and let's add this to the universal variables over here. And the next thing is the border color. So let's type border color light, and let's set the value to E1, E5, EA. Right now let's create the dark variants of surface color and border color. So let's type surface color dark, and let's set the value to 282C34, and let's type border color dark, and let's set the value to 3A414C, and here let's go ahead and type border color, and let's set it to var border color light, and here in the dark mode let's type border color. Let's set it to var border color dark, and then let's type surface color. Let's set it to var surface color light, and here let's type surface color var surface color dark. Alright, let's scroll down and let's continue with the styling. So here we have styled the tool group. Let's go back, and this is how it looks. We can see that we have the shadow and all the other styles applied. Right now let's go ahead and style these tools inside the tool group. So here we can see these elements should be one below the other. So let's target the division with the class of tool. So let's type tool. Let's set the display to flex direction to column so that they are one below the other. Let's add a gap of 8 pixels and align items to the center. So this is how it looks. Now let's style the tool label. So here we can see we have this label tag. So let's tap tool label. Let's set the font size to 14 pixels. Let's set the font weight to 600. Right now let's style this input of color. So for that let's go ahead and type input type of color, and let's go ahead and type WebKit appearance. Let's set it to none, and also appearance of none, and let's go ahead and type width of 45 pixels, height of 45 pixels, and let's set the border to none. Let's also set the padding to 0, and let's set the cursor to pointer, and background color to transparent, Let's go ahead and type border of 3 pixels solid var border color, and let's go ahead and type border radius of 50% for round shape, and let's also add a transition of border color var transition speed, and let's go ahead and add some more styles for the input of color. So let's type input type color colon WebKit color swatch wrapper. Let's set the padding to 0. So now we can see that the padding between the color and the border has gone. And let's also go ahead and add a hover effect. So if you hover over this, we can see that we have this effect. So for that, let's go ahead and type input type of color colon hover. Let's go ahead and type transform scale of 1.1. And here let's also add the transition. Let's type transform 0.2 seconds. So this is how it looks. All right, now let's go ahead and style this input of slider. So if you go back over here to the HTML file, we can see we have this input, and here we can see we have this brush size, and we also have this input with a type of range. We also have this ID over here. Now let's also add one more division for displaying this value. So let's add it inside a div, and for this div let's also give it a class of brush slider, and here let's add a span. Here we will add a value, and let's set the ID to brush size value. Right, now let's go ahead and style this brush slider. So let's type brush slider. Let's set the display to flex and align items to the center. Let's add a gap of 15 pixels. Now let's style this brush size value. So let's type brush size value, and I think it is an ID. So let's go ahead and add a hash over here. And let's set the font weight to 600. Let's set the font size to 16 pixels. Let's set the width to 45 pixels, and let's set the height to 45 pixels as well. And let's add a background color of var bg color. Let's set the border radius to 12 pixels, and let's bring this number to the center. So for that we will just type display of grid and place items to the center. Let's also add a border. So let's type border of 1 pixel solid var border color, and let's also add a transition. So let's type transition. Let's set it to background color var transition speed and border color var transition speed. Right, now let's style this input with the type of range. So here we can see we have this input. So let's go ahead and type input type of range. Let's type WebKit appearance none, appearance of none, so that we don't have the default styling. And let's type background. Let's set it to transparent. Let's set the cursor to pointer and width of 150 pixels. And let's go ahead and add some more styles. So let's type input with the type of range colon WebKit slider runnable track. So for this one, let's go ahead and add a background of var border color, and let's set the height to 6 pixels. Let's set the border radius to 3 pixels, and this is how it looks. Let's type transition of background color var transition speed, and let's also style this thumb. So for that, let's type input with the type of range colon WebKit slider thumb, and let's type WebKit appearance none, appearance of none. And now let's style it in a custom way. So let's type width of 20 pixels, height of 20 pixels. Let's set the margin top of -7 pixels so that it is in the correct position. And let's also set the background color to var, and let's create a variable called primary color. And let's also set the border radius to 50% so that we have round shape. Let's add a border of 3 pixels solid var surface color. So here we can see we have the border being displayed. Let's also add a box shadow. Let's set it to 10 pixels var primary color for the color. And let's also add a transition for changing into the dark and the light modes. So let's type background color var transition speed. Now let's create this variable called primary color. So here let's go ahead and type primary color, and let's set the value to 6A, 5A, F9. Now this primary color will be the same for the dark and the light mode in our website. So we'll just add one variable called primary color. So now we can see we have this correct styling for the slider. Right, now let's go ahead and style this part over here, and for that we have another toolbar group. So we have tool group over here, and that we have the buttons. Now for the buttons we have this class of btn. So let's target that, and we have this btn icon. So let's go ahead and type btn.btn icon. Let's set the width to 45 pixels, height to 45 pixels, border radius of 50% for round shape, and let's set the font size to 18 pixels. Let's set the border to 1 pixel solid var border color, and let's set the background color to var surface color, and let's set the color of the text, which is the icon, to text color, and let's bring these icons exactly to the center. So let's tap display of grid, place items to the center. Let's also add a transition for the hover effect. So let's tap transition of all 0.2 seconds, and when you hover over this we need to change the colors. So let's go ahead and type button icon colon hover, and let's tap transform, translate y -2 pixels, and box shadow of 0, 4 pixels, 8 pixels, RGBA 211 0.1. So this is how it looks. We also need to change the background color. Now for these two buttons we need to have the same color. So for that let's target those two buttons. So we have this button with an ID of full screen button and another button with an ID of theme toggle button. So let's type full screen button and theme toggle. Let's tap background color of var primary color. Let's set the color of the text to white, and let's add a box shadow of 0, 0, 15 pixels var primary color. Now we need to have this color only when we hover over this, so we need to add colon hover over here, colon hover, and we are not getting the color for this button right here. So let's go back. Let's see whether we have the correct names. So here we have full screen button, and here the S is not capital, so let's make it capital. And now we can see that the hover effect is working. Now let's add the hover effect for this button, which is this button with the class of button danger. So let's tap button icon and button danger. Here we will set the color to var danger color. Now we need to create this variable, and let's also add a hover effect. So let's tap button icon button danger colon hover, and here let's tap background color. Let's set it to var danger color, and let's set the color to white. Let's set the box shadow to 0, 0, 15 pixels var, and let's create variables called danger glow and also primary glow for the box shadow color, so that we don't have the intense box shadow that we see over here. So now let's create these variables. We have primary glow, danger color, and danger glow. So here let's type primary glow. Let's set the value to RGBA 106 90 249 0.4. Now let's create a variable for danger color. Let's set it to E74C3C, and let's tap danger glow. Let's set the value to RGBA 231 76 60 0.4, and here also for the input with a type of range. For the box shadow, let's set the color to primary glow. So this is how it looks. So with that we have styled the toolbar of our website. So that's basically it for this video. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comments below, and if you like this video, please click on the like button and subscribe to this channel to get the latest video updates. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day.